Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm recording this phone call. Yes. Yes, I told, they said it was a B system of a beehive type of way of thinking. Someone claiming being a queen bee wanted a beehive and considered the world as being a beehive for her, and had way too much sex, and way too many pregnancies, being made, is what they say, because of the sneakiness of her crime. Whoever the stranger is claiming being a queen bee, I don't know them. But they say the sneakiness of her crime was, since she was claiming being a queen bee, she caused a lot of pregnancies, and she caused a lot of births because of a bee system, and it was people reading those different books, talking about a mark of the beast and a beast system. And, they said there is no letter T. Those people was pronouncing the words wrong. It was called the beast system. So someone heard it wrong. It was called a beast system. Where someone was claiming being a woman or a lady or a female or a girl or a queen, and possibly a man being a drag queen, claiming being a bee, or more than one person possibly was claiming being part of some kind of beehive of making way too many pregnancies, using other people's bodies, and making way too many people, way too many births because of a bee system of someone claiming being the queen bee, wanting everyone working, for her or him, because I'm not sure if it was a drag queen or a man or a woman or a lady or a girl or a boy, or, those people be saying non-binary and all that crazy stuff. Those people be saying, and, I don't even know them, and I don't even know what they talking about. So, caring for others, I recorded my phone calls, because I'm not part of a non-disclosure act. I'm not part of a contract, because being a mental health patient myself, ever since in elementary school, with a lot of doctors' medical records of evidence of being a mental health patient since I was in middle school, is what the evidence of the medical records would show. Of me being a mental health patient since I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, and even after high school, being a grown person, in different places, all of the crazy stuff from the crazy ideas of others, causing me to be crazy, They say it's way too many people inside of the world because of some stranger's idea of creating a beehive. And what they say is a bee system of whoever the problem is, whoever the stranger is claiming being the queen bee, whoever the stranger is who caused all of the pregnancies, whoever the stranger is who caused all of, the strangers, or, a beehive of, what they say those bees do, of tricking people into having sex or tricking people into creating pregnancies and then hurting them, and then stealing the children from them and turning the children into sex workers of getting pregnant themselves the same way, of being worker bees is what they say those people called to them, or being drones or robots and stuff. So, someone made the videos of evidence of studying bees or something and figuring out what was going on. And someone had put the information on the internet, online, some stranger did. So, being a witness myself, as soon as I seen the information, I uploaded it. And my YouTube page has what I found of it. So it's uploaded, what they say of the bee system, and I don't know them. I don't know who was claiming being the queen bee. I don't know who caused all of those pregnancies, of, or what they say, way too many people inside of the world, being like a ship, causing the ship to sink. Because way too many people being on a boat or on a ship would cause a ship to sink. And if a person with a queen bee attitude did not care of others, especially the way I care of others, of, making all of the information public with evidence of how much I care for others and of others, because, telling the truth, instead of selling out for sex with a queen bee or one of her sex workers she made or she instructed from pregnancies she created of drones or copies of herself, whoever the stranger is, of her strange ways, I'm not interested in being part of it. I'm not part of those beehive type situations of a bee system of bees and stuff. Because having a marriage license certificate, as evidence of a marriage. You know, they say being married means being a couple. You know, two people. So, you know, they say being married means there's no point of a beast system. Because you don't need a beehive full of bees if being married is the job of being a couple, being two people. It's what they say, you know. A husband being a husband and a wife being a wife. You know, two different people. You know, being a married couple has nothing to do with being a beehive or all of those pregnancies or, you know, way too many people inside of a ship causing a ship to sink, is what they say. Which is why a beehive was a very bad idea, you know. It's what they say. And since I'm not smart enough of knowing what it all means, I made a copy of the videos my YouTube page has, and, you know, in case I forgot my memory of not knowing or not understanding what it means, you know, because of being abused, and ever since elementary school, being abused, ever since middle school, being abused, you know, ever since high school, being abused, you know. As soon after high school was over with, you know, first chance I got, you know, of getting a marriage license at the age of 20 years old in the year 2004, I got a marriage license certificate, you know. Because I have a marriage license certificate, you know, evidence of doing the job of being a husband, you know. So, you know, they say being married means a married couple is two different people, you know. One being a husband, one being a wife. It means a marriage. It means a couple. Not a beehive. Is what they say, you know. No need of creating a beehive. No need of creating a bee system of bees. You know. This is what they say. Oh, no. I never created a beehive. I never created a bee system, you know. I never created a bee system. You know, because being a couple, you know, having a marriage license certificate, they say means being a couple. You know, me being a husband, you know, doing the job of being a husband. They say being married means one person being a husband, one person being a wife, both people being a married couple. And a married couple is two people. Not a beast system of bees. So since I was taught being married means one person being a husband and one person being a wife, then according to what I was taught, I always thought doing the job of being a husband, you know, and having a marriage license certificate as evidence of, you know, doing the job of being a husband. I would be so busy doing the job of being a husband, you know, I never wanted a beast system, you know. I never created a beehive, you know. So, you know, some stranger's idea of creating a beehive in a bee system of bees, you know, bees, because some people got the word wrong and was saying beast, probably because of all of those crosses and all of those letter T's and all of those crucifixes everywhere that those strangers are obsessed with, adding a T into everything. Seems those strangers confuse themselves with the word beast, you know. And it seems whoever those strange bees were, you know, claiming being queen bees and creating a bee system, wanted them being confused and had letter T's all over the place and stuff like that. And, you know, I never did. Oh, thanks. Well, you know, I told a lot of people, you know, when I showed up here, of my intentions of, you know, sharing what I know with the public, you know, as evidence of my love, you know, of where I'm from, you know, of caring for others and not being the problem, you know, and not being the cause of the problems, you know. Because ever since getting a marriage license in the year of 2004, I never went anywhere looking for revenge. I never went anywhere pressing charges. I stayed inside my marriage license certificate household, doing the job of being a husband, working part-time at different places, traveling for a long time. And for some strange reason, strangers outside of my marriage license household got mad at me for taking a long time traveling back and forth from work, you know, doing the job of a husband, of never having going all the way 6 outside of the identity of what my marriage license certificate says my marriage is. Which is why I never made anyone into a single mom or a single mother. Which is why I never had going all the way 6, inside of a person's mouth, butt, or womb, outside of the identity of what my marriage license certificate says my marriage is, And it's crazy because a lot of strangers said I missed out on a lot of sex that I was never interested in going all the way having sex with them anyway. So I don't even understand what any of them was talking about missing out. It's crazy. Yes. My YouTube page, my journal, my diary, my memory book of my personal therapy to myself, not being ashamed of being a mental health patient ever since elementary school, with lots of evidence from lots of doctors, from lots of, hospitals and clinics with medical records of evidence of all of the physical abuse did to me. Of all of the different mental health problems I have had. So much evidence. So many doctors. Through no fault of my own. Through no fault of my own. The voices. The voices. Through no fault of my own. Those no fault voices. The voices, the no fault voices. The no fault, the voices. The no fault, the voices. Those no fault, the voices. Those no fault, the voices. Those no fault, the voices. They would say that a lot, They would say no fault, the voices, Brandon. The voices inside of your head. Fault them. It's the voices inside of your head. No fault the voices. 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 No fault the voices that I am not the cause of because of my mental health. Being a mental health patient. So, when someone instructed me, of saying, of speaking of those voices, I don't understand at all, I don't know if I hear stuff other people do not hear. I don't know if I see stuff other people do not see. Because I am not inside of other people's body of knowing what someone else sees or hears. So there's no way of knowing for me if someone else sees what I see or hears what I hear. I would have no way of knowing what someone else knows or what someone else sees or what someone else hears or what someone else hears. It's a crazy question, Mm? No, 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 no. I'm not suicidal, you know. I'm not suicidal at all, you know. You know, with all the crazy stuff going on, you know, all the trouble that those strangers have gotten themselves into, you know. I wake up every day looking forward to seeing and knowing you know, what the punishment would be for them. And what do I mean? No, not feeling it myself. That's not what I mean by knowing. You know, what I'm talking about is, you know, being a witness of what the punishment would be for them. What do I mean by being a witness? Well, you know, when evidence is shown of what the punishment is for them who caused all of the trouble to me. So, you know, what I mean by being a witness and looking forward, loving waking up every day, excited and thrilled of believing in being a witness of when the day comes of witnessing the evidence of what happens to all of them who caused the trouble to me. So, you know, there's no way of me being suicidal with so much to look forward to and having the character of saving my voluntary going all the way 6 for the purpose of being married with evidence of a marriage license certificate. I am not suicidal. So now you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, you know, even though the videos are showing public, the videos are my personal journal and diary and memory book because of being a mental health patient and forgetting my thoughts and losing my memory a lot. The videos are online, you know, because of me being a mental health patient, you know. So, you know. Because I'm not ashamed of being a mental health patient since elementary school, you know. You know, they say a lot of the strangers who did bad stuff to me, would be in so much trouble for abusing a person who was a mental health patient ever since elementary school, and for abusing a person who was physically disabled from what someone claimed was a car accident ever since I was in middle school. So, I'm not interested in being them. You know me? But looking back on it, looking back on it, I say, if a couple, meet each other in high school and was interested in getting married, a good idea would seem going to the hotel, staying at the hotel, and never going back to school and never going back to the household of the birth parents, of the husband or the birth parents of the wife. And the reason I say that is because, if being married means making your own tribe, then there will be no point of claiming the tribe of the birth parents of the husband. And there will be no point in claiming the tribe of the birth parents of the wife. Because those are tribes someone else made. And it makes no sense false claiming someone else's tribe, the tribe of the birth parents of the husband, or the tribe of the birth parents of the wife. Or that crazy stuff where people was claiming the tribes of the books of the Bible and stuff. Those are tribes someone else made. I was taught being married is about making my own tribe, which is why I went to the hotel in the first place when I was 18 years old, for the purpose of being married, creating my own tribe, And I did. I did. Created the tribe of saving my voluntary going all the way seats for the purpose of being married to one female spouse only ever in life. While I have the character of being a mental patient ever since elementary school, and while I have the character of being sexually abused since elementary school, and while I have the character of being physically disabled from what strangers claim was a car accident when I was in middle school, all of those specific words are characters of the tribe I created, with all of those challenges. I never asked for any of those challenges. So, they say my tribe is very different because a tribe of a person who has evidence of being a mental health patient ever since elementary school, A tribe of a person who was sexually abused ever since elementary school. A tribe of a person who was physically abused, it seems intentionally, in middle school from what strangers claim being a car accident. You know, the tribe of a person who never had sex outside of the identity of what my marriage like certificate says my marriage is. And you know, being 39 years old today according to the calendar, you know, for a long time, having all of these pain and suffering, you know, a tribe of my tribe, you know, the character of my tribe is very different, you know. And then, you know, even though all of this stuff happened to me and was bad stuff, ever since I was a child, I worked at the age of 14 years old through the pain and the suffering and all of the abuse did to me. And then got a marriage license certificate in the year of 2004. And I worked and I worked and I worked at different jobs, part-time, with evidence of, you know, those paper checks with the routing numbers, I think they say it's called. And never had sex outside of the identity of what my marriage like certificate say my marriage is, you know. And you know, once I got a marriage license certificate in the year 2004, I never pressed charges, you know. Because doing the job of being a husband, you know, and never have been going all the way sex outside of the identity of what my marriage like the certificate says my marriage is. Means a lot of evidence, you know, from a lot of work, you know, from being an agent of investigating all of the crimes as an eyewitness. You know, where I'm from, it would be a lot of reporting of a higher authority. So, you know, I think it was very crazy for all of those strangers who came at me sideways, talking out the side of their knee about doing this, about doing that, attempting at scaring me. When I done seen so much, it's impossible for me to be scared. You know? Because, you know, I got so many personalities, you never know which one you gonna get. You know, different ways on different days. Multiple personality disorders, stuff like that, you know? I could be here, I could be there, I could be anywhere, you know? But I'm always me, you know? Not the cause of any of the problems. So, you know, I've been telling the strangers ever since elementary school, one day, it would be a gate for a place everyone would want to go. But since strangers caused pain and suffering to me, it's going to be a lot of no's. It's going to be a lot of strangers being told no. Because I would never be interested in inviting anyone inside who has the character of intentionally abusing me. And not telling on them own selves in public of the intentional abuse did to me, you know. So, you know, it's not my fault, you know, if strangers signed a non-disclosure act or some kind of contract because strangers was interested in having sex with one of those bees from a beehive, or one of those queen bees, or wanted plastic surgery or a new face or a new body or a new identity or all that crazy stuff them people be saying, them people be doing, you know. I never had plastic surgery, you know. I had the same face from being beat up with all of the evidence of all of the abuse. So, you know, some stranger did it to me, intentionally abusing me, and, you know, all of the evidence the higher ups know of, and, well, you know what they say, it's very expensive, you know, for every scrape, for every scratch, for every bruise, for every scar, you know, because they say I'm very valuable and beloved because of the love I show for all with sharing what I know instead of hiding and being scared of what some stranger would do if I said this or if I said that or if I showed my face on camera. You know. So, you know, it's not my fault. You know. Yeah, you know, being a mental health patient ever since I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, and even being grown, you know, they say there's no way of signing a disclosure act for me or any of that type of stuff or any of that kind of stuff like that, because being a mental health patient, there would need to be evidence of someone explaining word for word of what every word means, you know, and there would need to be evidence of someone saying in advance what was planned and what was expected for me to be doing and stuff like that. Because if it was a role for me to be playing or a position for me to be playing, then there's no way of me knowing what role to be playing if I was never told. And there's no way of me knowing what position to be playing if I was never told, you know. So, you know, I never had a non-disclosure act or whatever. So, you know, if it was something somebody wanted me doing or something somebody wanted me saying or something that somebody wanted me being or whatever, and then, you know, it's not my fault for not knowing something I was never told, you know. Exactly. And, you know, if it was something somebody wanted me doing, or if it was something somebody wanted me saying, or if it was something, you know, very important involving needing me then it's not my fault if some stranger or, someone from outside of my marriage is so obsessed with them own self or whatever and cause the problems which needs me, and some stranger is the problem because of attempting blocking me and attempting stopping me and attempting accusing me and attempting arresting me and attempting locking me up and attempting keeping me out of the picture caused problems for a lot of strangers because my presence is needed a lot of places. And then whoever the stranger is who caused those problems of wanting all the attention for themselves, of wanting the spotlight for themselves, of wanting such a position for themselves, I don't know them. I don't know who the stranger is, So, it's not my fault, So, whoever the stranger is who did that stuff, I don't know who it is or why anyone who did any of this stuff, So, that's all, And, I said earlier, I tend to focus, I'm not suicidal or any of this stuff. It's just being an agent and doing this job, it's very crazy to my mind and my brain and my mental health. And I'm not interested in being an agent, in this investigation of all these sex crimes and crazy stuff these people had going on. Basically, these people, those strangers, was running a sex cult and what somebody called a beehive of intentionally breeding beings into being what those people call the worker bees and drones of creating pregnancies and then, throwing the people away after the pregnancy was made. Someone was the cause of having way too much sex. Someone was the cause of making way too many pregnancies. Someone was the cause of all of those bad ideas, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because, my certificate of live birth says since 1984, being 39 years today, if I've been here inside this world for 39 years according to the calendar, and I said no, in elementary school, in middle school, in high school, I said no to sex of going all the way because of saving my voluntary going all the way sex for the purpose of being married, then it's not my fault if strangers said yes in elementary school, middle school, and high school to having voluntary going all the way sex and did it, and it was not for the purpose of being married when strangers did it. Maybe those strangers are part of a different tribe. And, I don't bother other tribes, because, I'm not the cause of the problems, I created my own tribe, because, growing up inside of a household where grown people was having sex with children, there's no point of claiming the tribe from a household of those characters. I'm not interested in being attached to whatever bad stuff happens to them. Ain't no the same way. Having a marriage license certificate means having in-laws, and whatever house it was people claimed being in-laws were at was the same way of grown people having sex with children and children having sex with grown people. So there was no point of claiming the tribe of those in-laws, because of the same reason. I'm not taking any sides. If the house of the in-laws was grown people having sex with children and children having sex with grown people, there's no point in claiming the tribe of those in-laws. And if the house I growed up inside of, through no fault of my own, because being a child, I'm not the person who had sex and got pregnant with myself and gave birth to myself, causing myself to have been born. No. So since through no fault of my own, I'm not the cause of being born. I'm not the cause of the pregnancy of what I was born from, Then, they say it was a C-section, so, I never caused any problems to the womb of anyone because I never had sex outside of the identity of what my marriage license certificate says my marriage is. And according to what I was told of when I was born, they said it was a C-section. So, I never caused any problems to the womb of when I was born. And, since I was not the cause of whoever had sex when the pregnancy was made, which created the body, from the certificate of live birth, which according to the calendar of when I was born, it's not my fault, then I don't know what to say, because, it's not my fault, So, those strangers was having sex way before I was born, I don't know where those strangers came from. Because, being the youngest inside of a household, I'm not a witness of when any of them was born. If a person said it was 3 older brothers, I'm not a witness of when any of them was born. So, if a person said she's your mom, I'm not a witness of when she was born. If a person said he's your dad, I'm not a witness of when he was born. I don't know them. So, there's no point of claiming the tribe of them if what I do know of them is witnessing them being inside of a household. And when I was inside of the household as a child, those strangers was grown people doing sex stuff with children. And I'm not part of the tribe of them, because having a marriage license certificate means I made my own tribe, the tribe of saving my voluntary going all the way sex for the purpose of being married. The tribe of never making a person into a single mom. You know. So, you know, I don't believe in mixing tribes together because false claiming other tribes, other people made, is not what my character is, you know. So, you know, the evidence of my tribe, you know, the same way now. Inside of a hotel, you know, not making anyone into a single mom or a single mother, you know. All that, and, you know, telling the truth. It's crazy, you know. Me, myself, I think it's crazy, you know, to have ever went to any of those apartments and any of those houses and any of those places, you know, looking back on it. Because, you know, if being inside of a hotel is where I'm at right now, then, you know, exactly. Yeah, like I said earlier, yeah. Yeah, similar, very similar, yeah. If some stranger was an 18-year-old teenager, similar to the way I was, and some stranger know the 16-year-old girl and was interested in being married to her, yeah, it would make sense, you know, going to a hotel or his own place, you know, with her, whoever the stranger is, and whoever the 18-year-old stranger is, and whoever the 16-year-old girl is, you know. And if it's for the purpose of being married, you know, then there would be no point of going back to school or learning the teachings and trainings of stuff he doesn't believe in or stuff she doesn't believe in. And the reason I say that is because if her job is being his wife, then sharing the teachings of his tribe with his wife would make sense for his marriage. And making his own tribe of what he believes is right for him and what she believes is right for her. And if he likes it and she likes it, and both of them are a couple, then, you know, it seems very similar, you know, of what my tribe taught me. Oh, no. from what I've witnessed, it seems one of the worst ideas would be if he went to the hotel or his own place at the age of 18 with a 16-year-old girl, and then if she went back to school around those strangers outside of him, and if she went back to the house of her birth parents or, you know, those people outside of him, and, you know, instead of making her own tribe with her husband, if she tried continuing being part of the tribe of her birth parents and all of that and created a big mess, it seems the worst way of I don't even know what it would be called, you know. Exactly. Because if so many people are inside the world today, and they say it's way too many people because of way too many people had way too much sex, from someone claiming being a bee or a queen bee, creating a bee system of bees, of drones and workers with the job of getting intentionally pregnant, for creating more and more workers because someone wanted to claim being someone's boss, because someone wanted to claim owning a business, because someone wanted to claim being rich and having more than others. It's crazy, you know. Exactly. You know what? You make a lot of sense. Exactly. Hey, you thinking like I'm thinking now. That's what I thought. I thought if everyone had the same amount of money, then there would be no way of a person claiming being richer than one person, and there would be no way of a person claiming being poorer than one person, because if fair is fair, if everyone was given the same amount of money, then no one would have to feel bad about being poor. And no one could have the identity of being rich abusing people who was poor. Exactly. Yep, and it's the same way with the houses and land. Exactly. If everyone was given an equal share of the land and the property, instead of greedy people wanting to be the owners of the land and all of that, and then there would be no reason for people being mad or jealous of other people's homes or houses or property or land and stuff, you know. Because they say if a person cannot live in two houses at the same time, then, you know. And it sure does seem to be a lot of empty buildings and a lot of, you know, places people could be living inside of, instead of someone wanting money or wanting rent or, you know, wanting a mortgage or with intentions of getting paid or leaving people in the street, and then complaining about the crimes of the people in the street, when the only reason those people are in the streets is because I don't even know why. Because it seems being enough houses and buildings, apartments, homes, land, and space for everyone. So whoever the greedy person is, you know, whoever some stranger is, I don't know. If it's someone who worked in real estate or business or any of that stuff, whoever caused these problems, I'm not the cause of it, you know. Mm-hmm. No, 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 no. Now you know. No, 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 no. No, I am not interested in creating a pregnancy because way too many pregnancies have already been made and way too many people, you know, are in need of having a place of staying. And, you know, since my attitude of caring for others, I think it would be crazy creating a pregnancy when so many other people are in need of a home or housing or a place of staying, you know? Exactly. Because that's what I thought. It makes no sense creating all of these extra people and bringing more people in instead of taking care of the people already here in need. Exactly. But you know, they say some people have that do not care attitude of only caring about being rich and intentionally created a system of rich and poor instead of equally sharing all of the land, all of the money, all of the earth, you know, allowing people to grow their own food in their own yard, having their own gardens, growing their own groceries, having their own farm in their own backyard with their own animals, with their own chickens, with their own, you know, whatever it is, you know, a household is interested in, you know. And they say, you know, the problem is, you know, those greedy people with the attitude of they say some crazy person has an attitude of having an obsession with being richer than other people. You know, they say if everyone had their own fair share of the land and, you know, all the property, then, you know, people wouldn't, it would be no need of working so much because instead of a bunch of people working at a grocery store, people could get their own groceries from growing their own food in their own yards and stuff like that, you know. And then there would be no need of people volunteering, you know, or feeding homeless because no one would be homeless with all of this land and all of these houses and all of this space. And, you know, and see, someone claims being the owner of the earth, the ground, the land, calling it real estate and all this craziness, and caused all of these problems and complained about the problems from their own idea. Basically, they saying a person claimed to owning all of the houses and all of the land and kicked everybody out. And then got mad because homeless people was in the street. But then the people was like, if you kicked everybody out of the houses and claimed that you owned all of the land in the real estate, then it makes no sense to get mad at the people in the street. Because the only reason the people in the street is because some stranger claimed wanting a real estate business of owning all of the houses and land. And they said the craziest part about it is that most of them was interested in wanting people having sex with them in exchange for housing. So, I'm not one of them. And they say, there's evidence because the best evidence of knowing a person was not having sex with somebody in exchange for housing and stuff like that is if you don't have a house, if you don't have any real estate, if you don't have one of those businesses of, claiming being rich, then everyone would know you never sold out. You was never one of those people having sex with those people in exchange for houses and cars and fame and all of that stuff. So, there's evidence, they say. And they say everyone knows who claimed being in the real estate business. Everyone knows who caused all of these problems. And everyone knows I am not the cause of the problems. That someone who claimed to being in the real estate business, some greedy person with some tiny hands. And everyone knows I'm not related to him at all because my hands are not tiny. So, they say whoever Mr. Tiny Hands is has got to go. That there should be no memory of him at all, is what they say. That his name should be stripped from every building, from every property, in the existence of his memory of anyone claiming any association with him has got to go. Because he, in his tiny hands, has caused too much problems. So, I don't know him. So I guess I must be nobody. Because if everybody knows him and I don't know him, I guess I must be nobody, So, I told him, And it's crazy, because they was like, somebody might want a house, or somebody might want a car, or somebody might be interested in, that stuff that they said people did with him, with the tiny hands dude, having sex with him. Ew. I never did, I don't know him. Because I never had sex outside of the identity of what my marriage life certificate says my marriage is, And, being here, myself, I would never be interested in being a problem to the government, Since I'm not a Democrat, because I don't even know what the word Democrat means. Since I'm not a Republican, because I don't even know what the word Republican means. And since I was never interested in the debate team, Because, you know, growing up, you know, stuff like the debate team and having debates seemed one of those types of activities that people with a different sexuality than my sexuality had, you know. A sexuality I was never interested in. A sexuality I'm not interested in. Those debate team types of people who specialize in having debates or debating people, you know. I was never part of a debate or a debate team, you know. Nah. You know, I never registered to vote, you know, because being a mental health patient, I don't know what a Democrat is. I don't know what a Republican is, you know. And, you know, I'm not interested in being a problem for the government. I'm not interested in being a problem to the government, you know. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you know this phone call is recorded and it shows public because I have a YouTube page. So, you know, it's evidence, you know, of, you know, talking to you, talking to me, you know. I never instructed anyone into doing, you know. I never instructed anyone into doing actions. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 No, I don't really know what any of the words mean, you know. Speaking this language, I usually just say what they say. They say, they say, they say, they say. So, you know, there's no way of accusing me of saying anything at all. Because if all of what I say is what they say, they say, they say, they say, they say, well then, you know, being a witness of what they say and telling you what they say is not a crime. Which is why I record my phone calls with evidence in case someone tried telling lies of what I said from being a witness of what they say. There's no way of stopping me from being a witness. Okay. Yeah, exactly. You know I'm not suicidal. I never know what's going on.